What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name's Avitron, and today we're going to be talking about Zhongli. Now, this is going to be a how to build video. This isn't going to be a you should do this with Zhongli. It's just what I've personally gone with and how I've decided to build him and play him. So, recently, since getting Zhongli, I've been working on just going around killing all the bosses, killing everything from, the Electro Cube to going into Abyss after a very long time not going into Abyss and seeing how he performs. I'm using him as a main DPS, and his level, whoops, his level, oh, alright, this freaking game, come on please, thank you. His level is 80, his attack is at 1900, keep in mind that is going to be with the Pyro Resonance. So, using the Primordial Jade Wing Spear at level 80, gonna give him 20% crit rate, plus at full stacks, when you hit 7, this will also do 12% more damage. Artifacts, I'm using a Retracing Bolite set. They're not that great. I could have definitely gotten better artifacts, but this is what I have to work with for now. I do want to eventually replace all better artifacts and try to get a crit damage mask. This is a physical damage bonus cup I've been running. I've also been testing him in a geo damage bonus cup, and I gotta say that so far I've liked the physical damage bonus a little bit more since I have him out as my main DPS more. If he was to play like a support, I'd probably go with the geo damage bonus. Here's attack percent on the timepiece. Nothing too great. This one actually went into HP a lot more than I wanted it to, but we'll get rid of these and eventually replace them. Here's the feather, 10% crit rate, 17.5% energy recharge. Actually really happy with this. If only that fly defense would have gone into like crit damage. It'd been really nice. And then we have the flower, 19% crit damage, 6.6% crit rate, and 5% energy recharge. This one's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this flower, but we'll see if we can replace any of these later on. I do also want to try him on maybe a 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Petra, just to see how much of a change that makes. Especially, I know it will make a huge change as far as the main DPS goes, but I know people run him as a support with that set as well. And he's very viable either way. Been very interesting to see the reactions from both the community in large, like Reddit and Twitter, to the YouTube community, content creators and streamers talking about Zhongli in various different ways. Some positive, some very negative, and some are just kind of in the middle. But for the most part, I've either seen you either really like Zhongli or you don't. Let me show you his talents real quick. I currently have him at 6, 6, and 8. At 8, it's going to do 770% damage. I do want to eventually get this. I want to focus more on his ult, and then his basic attacks, because I do have them as a main DPS, and I don't see that changing. I've been really happy with him so far. You'll see some clips now. I'll start playing in the background. So getting into it first, I want to talk about just the community reaction. It seems to have kind of leaned towards a more negative connotation with Zhongli. People were kind of underwhelmed with I guess the damage that he does, as well as the synergy with teams that he could be played into. I think this was something that should have been pretty much seen coming. I guess people should have seen this coming. He's a Geo character. He's not going to be doing this vaporized melt damage, which is already kind of a super buff in the game, right? Double the damage. It's pretty insane. So right then and there, you're not going to see Zhongli doing these 400,000, million Mona ults like you would see other characters do and synchronize well with. But what I think Zhongli makes up for in this lack of, I guess, that kind of damage and elemental reaction is his utility. I think people are underestimating just how good having a shield can be. Not only that, his ultimate, on top of doing a decent amount of damage and looking extremely cool, is a great CC. Similar to Venti in the way that he just lifts people off and you can control them and keep them there. His ultimate is going to keep them down for a little bit. Going to give you those, you know, few extra seconds of damage. At least 4 seconds if you, depending on your talent levels. But then if you have constellations, it could be up to 6. I personally don't. But even without those constellations, it's extremely helpful to the team to be able to just pin an enemy down or pin a bunch of enemies down and just keep doing damage. So I think all of that is being underestimated, and he's just kind of been put into this corner of like almost like a pure support, which I just don't agree with. I don't feel like pretty much any character in this game can be classified as just a pure support. Anybody can be built into a main DPS given enough resources and, you know, correct artifact. Now obviously some characters, like per se Dylan, Child, can be built specifically just for DPS and are going to be really top notch for that because of their elements and the elemental reactions and how they currently work in the game. But what they're not going to be able to do is give you the survivability a Zhongli can give you, right? And the utility of his shield, plus the crystallize function, which can be pretty useful in various situations. I think Zhongli is going to be a great support if you decide to build him. You know, if you decide to build him in that way, he's going to be able to keep your team alive. He's going to be able to keep you from breaking your combos, having to dodge all the time. And not only that, he's going to increase your survivability of your characters to the point where you might not even need healer. That's just the reality of this really, really powerful shield and his insane CC that can also do a bunch of damage. In my experience using Zhongli over the past couple days, he's been able to help me in every aspect of the game, from Abyss, which I will upload a video later about, to just killing stuff in the overworld, high level domains, I mean max level domains currently, with other people and by myself. He's just increased the overall utility of my characters, right? Whereas before I would take in Dillig and I'd be doing a lot of damage, but in some domains I'd be limited to, oh hey, you can't do melt damage, you can't do vaporize damage, or else you're pretty much guaranteed to die if you don't have, you know, 1 or 2 healers that are just absolutely on their game. Now I can go in there, and even if it's by myself, switch to like with his shield and be able to do all those things and tank, you know, 2-3 of those big hits before, you know, I just have to activate a shield again. Even in the hardest, one of the, well, not hardest, but annoying bosses in the game, currently the Oceanic, which is one of my most annoying, hated bosses in the game. Zhongli's making this pretty much a breeze for me. I've been able to actually do this like 6 times without a character dying. I mean, Ningguang got close there, but that was just because I was careless. But you see him just do continuous damage and protection of your team while being my main DPS. I mean, I didn't even bring Delic out in the whole fight. So, can he be a main DPS? I would say yes. Is he going to be doing the numbers that Delic and Child, Mona, you know, those kind of characters synergizing are going to be able to do? Probably not. But is he still viable? Absolutely. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to you guys as to what do you want to play, what kind of character is it that you like, and also do you have fun with that character, which I think is the thing that a lot of people have been forgetting about. You know, it's not going with a certain meta of like, oh, let me just, it has to be melt, it has to be vaporize damage all times because it's double, and we're just going to take as much advantage of that as we can. In my opinion, that's not as fun. I like the characters that I like. I want to play the characters I like. Zhongli happens to be one of those characters, one of my top 2 characters, in my opinion, just from a coolness factor to me. So I'm going to keep playing Zhongli as a main DPS. I'm going to keep trying to better him as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not expecting him to do like 1,000,000 damage, but that's okay. You definitely don't have to one-shot everything in the game, because, I mean, how boring would that be? I mean, at least to me. I think that would get boring kind of quick. When it comes to bosses, world bosses, as well as like the weekly bosses like Child, Dvalin, and the Wolf, I've seen Zhongli perform perfectly well and adequate for those reasons. As you can see here, he's been able to take a lot of those often quite hard-hitting shots from Child, and he's going to be able to still do a lot of damage. Now, can you finish this probably a little faster? Sure. But like I said, you guys saw my artifacts earlier. He's doing the damage that he's doing now, which I think is completely sufficient, but obviously can be a whole lot better, especially if you decide to go like a main physical route or like a main geo route with the correct artifacts. Now that being said, is Zhongli a must summon? Unless you are like me, or really are into the character, like the lore about him, like pretty much everything about him, I would say no, he's not a must summon. But if you do happen to get him, don't feel bad about it. He's going to be a great addition to any team that you put him on, and he's going to be able to help you, especially right now, clear Abyss even faster. You know, if you were having any trouble with that. I don't want to make this video too long, but just know if you did get Zhongli, or if you're planning on getting Zhongli, he's going to be a great addition to pretty much any team you put him on. Keep in mind his element and the synergy of how you want to use him, and build him accordingly. But whichever way you decide to build him, main DPS, support DPS, kind of like a hybrid, he's going to be a great addition. There's no doubt about that in mind. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to you guys. See who it is that you like, which character you want to build, and if that happens to be Zhongli, then hey, you know, go for it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed my commentary. Give me your thoughts down below, what you think about it. Even if you think I'm completely wrong in this, let me know. Let me know why, and we'll discuss it. I pretty much respond to every comment that I get, so you'll be sure to get an answer. Whether that's favorable or not, we'll see. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more content from me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye guys.